Alrighty then. Here we go. You could totally color while I.
Why didn't we get this here?
They let them do this in Lawrence. Lawrence, not the place. Lawrence, the school. The school Lawrence. Who are we missing? We're missing. Where's? Yeah. Oh, Top Golf. That's why we're missing so many guys. Did everybody see that Rabbi Parmet's swing? No one thought he had that agility. That was, you're the best Top golfer. I know. I'm sure. Oh, you were showing it to me. Okay. I thought we were about to take credit. I have the most non-alcoholic beers. I'm taught him how to swing. Very good. All right.
No.
Shahafer?
20 more.
Sayed? What's Master? What? Okay, here we go. No, because you asked, no. I think Rabbi Kutov is going to edit everything till right this second. So no one knows what just happened. And it's better that way. No one knows all the violence that just went on in this room. And I think it's better that way. First of all, Chodesh Tov. I go in Rosh Chodesh. Oh, Aryeh Leib's here. Not you. I know your name's not Aryeh Leib. I'm saying everyone just walked in with pizza, so I'm assuming Aryeh Leib just showed up.
No, you're on a class trip. So
Is?
Go down low.
Yeah, I know, but what if Pacey here? No. All right. I'm trying to get a deal on my bar mitzvah, guys. Come on. Always Milky Way all the time. Like, wait, come on. What are you doing here? Yeah. All right. Now Rabbi Kutov, I think, just cut. This is take 3. We just started. I'm really just trying to find my spot here. Marbet tzedakah, marbet shalom. Marbet tzedakah, marbet shalom. Kana shem tov, kana liatzmai. Kana shem tov, kana liatzmai. Kana le'devar Torah, kana le'chayel mabah. It's a long Mishnah, but we made it to the end. First of all, I got Chodesh Tov. You're very talented. You're very, very, very talented. Chodesh Tov. Anyone know which Chodesh it is? Don't make me call on the little girl, because she knows, by the way. Chodesh Nisan. Very good. The Chodesh of freedom. We start working on freedom from now, so that when we sit by the Pesach Seder, we're already ready to go free. You don't pack during boarding. You know what I mean? You see, you have a boarding pass, right? You have a mobile boarding pass, and you see on it, it says flight's leaving at 11:15. Boarding's going to start 10:45. I don't know, whatever. Right? You don't wake up at 10:30, start packing at 10:45. Right? No, that's boarding. That's boarding. You don't leave your house at 10:45. You don't necessarily have to be at boarding at 10:45, but before they close the doors. Anyone who's ever traveled with me is going to be like, hypocrite! But I'm just saying, the general idea here is, you don't, right? When you need to get to the airport, oh, there he is. What's doing, Leif? I missed you. When you need to get to the airport, right? You don't, and your flight's leaving at 5 a.m. You don't call Rabbi Kushner at 4 a.m. and ask him, hey, can I get a ride? Like, that's not, all right, Rabbi Kushner's a bad example, but I'm just saying in general, you don't call someone at 4 for a ride, right? You got to be ready. If you show up to the Pesach Seder and you're not ready for Geula, you're not ready for freedom, then you're not going to feel free. You're not going to feel all of that going on. But if you prepped yourself, if you got ready, then you're ready to go. Then when Pesach comes around, you feel it already. You know about it. Nowadays, we just started sitting back and waiting to be injected with an emotion, with a feeling, with an idea. Oh no, if I don't enjoy something within the first 8 minutes, I'm out. I don't even do anything for 8 minutes. I got an email, I remember I got an email last year from a, not Torah Anytime, not Meaningful Minute, okay? Different site that was using, I think, my stuff. I didn't even know that they were using my stuff. And they sent me they sent out an email, I think, to everybody. It was a blast to everyone that they were, what do you call it? They were like, can everybody please keep their short clips, which I never made a short clip for that. But they said, can everyone keep their short clips to under 5 minutes? There is a major spike in people turning off the video within 2 minutes. Now, to me, in my head, I was like, or just be a better speaker. I don't know. But fine. No, that's not why. People's attention spans. People's attention spans are down. I'll give something 2 minutes. Yeah. No, I said not. If you're going to color, color. If you're going to listen, listen. I'm sorry. You have to understand something. Don't judge me on that. He deserved it.
I was coloring before, bro.
He was coloring, so don't. Yeah, no, I said not Meaningful Minute, not Torah Anytime. It's a completely different thing. It's not. It wasn't for public use either. It was like this psychology thing, whatever. But the concept is if a person doesn't grab your attention within the first 2 minutes, if something doesn't feel right within the first 2 minutes, that's it. That's it. No one wants to dedicate themselves towards anything anymore. So many people don't even view themselves as having the responsibility to. I want to dispel a myth. If you don't enjoy, if you don't get chiyut, if you don't have interest in a Seder night, in Pesach Seder night, it's because you did not prepare for it properly. That's it. That's the whole reason why. It's not because they didn't get the most entertaining person to talk to you. It's not because they didn't buy enough frogs to throw on the table. That's not why. It's because you didn't put yourself out there. And this isn't just about Pesach. If you didn't properly prepare for your life, you also won't enjoy that. If you don't properly prepare for your day, you're not going to enjoy that. You have to prep yourself. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, I haven't been in touch recently, but very, very close friend of mine from back in the day, Dave Stern. He was actually just in a Shav Refuah Shleim of Karov in Hera. He was actually just in a terrorist attack, got shot, I believe, in his head and his arm in Israel. He was in the car with his wife and children. Baruch Hashem, by Nisim v'Neflaot, they all made it out okay. Dave was a Marine recon sniper, a U.S. Marine recon sniper. Yeah. If you ever heard that sniper thing that I always quote about the hardest part about being a sniper is the waiting, that's from Dave Stern. He's the one who told me that. So he's a very, 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 very special Yiddish Shav Refuah Shleim of Karov and Hera. Dave, if you hear this, I love you, I miss you. He one time, we were discussing his time in the military once. And he was saying this b'derech example. I think he was even speaking to a few of the guys in Tzfat at the time, but he was saying this b'derech example. I don't know if he really meant it, but he was saying a b'derech example. He was saying that there wasn't a mission, there wasn't a real fire, real life thing that he had to do in the military that even compared to training. He said training was so much worse. Now, Real life was scarier, obviously, but training was so much worse. The prep was so much harder. Why? It's very simple. If I can prep you through the worst of the worst, then what is there that you can't face in the real world? Now, some of us, I'm speaking to myself also, some of us are just spoiled brats. We just want everything to be handed to us. Everyone should do everything for me. I shouldn't have to dedicate myself or work hard for anything. But if we don't start, then we're always going to be doing that for the rest of our lives until we lose everything. Because there are 40 and 50-year-olds that have the same idea as that. Everyone's going to give to me. If you're 17 and you still fight with your younger siblings, in the same way you did when you were... what are you doing with your life? Well, why do I bring that up? Because where does that fight come from? They should be, doing for me. They should be. No, you're the older sibling. Your concept, your idea, part of your existence to them is to take care of them, not the other way around. Why should I? If you ever get faced with that and your answer is, why should I? You are behind. You are not holding in the right space. It's not true. It's not true, you should know. Tzvi all the times over at my house picking up his little siblings and everything so sweet and nicely.
Tell me when we're around.
So I'm just saying, yeah. All right. Chodesh Nisan. We have to start preparing. We have to start prepping for freedom. We have to start prepping for the real deal. Let's jump into the Mishnah. Mar b'shalom, Mar b'tzedakah, Mar b'shalom, we did. Kana Shem Tov, Kana Le'atzmai, which segues us beautifully into this part of the Mishnah. Kana Shem Tov, Kana Le'atzmai. Kana, to be kona something. What does that mean? So again, we've discussed this many a time, that there are no English, again, Art School did a fantastic job of an impossible job, but there are no English words that can really describe what we're dealing with. But kana shem toiv, to be kone something. To be kone means to acquire, it can mean to buy. But in the Mishnah, and so far in the entire Pirkei Avos, we've been saying the word kone in a very specific way. Kana asel charav knei lecha chaver. Right? To be kona a chaver. Who's buying a friend? Everyone had that that kid in their class in elementary school. That was like, okay, some of us were that kid. That would, give you $1, be my friend, Okay, all right. All right. How long did that friendship last? It started fights. It always started fights. My kid has a friend in his class. I happen to really like this other kid, but he has a friend in his class that hires an army. Like, it's true. He like does something at home, whatever, he'll get $1, and he starts buying mercenaries in the class. He's like, just stand around me when I go out for recess. And by the way, he doesn't get bullied. It's not like he's trying to protect himself. He's trying to establish dominance on the playground. I really like this kid. So, okay, but I'm saying, yeah, without a question, by the way, this kid understands there's a certain thing that this kid gets. You could tell right away about him. I really like him. As far as a very close friend of mine. Anyway, so, but no, who buys a friend? Kana shem toiv. Someone who attains shem tov. What is shem tov? So now the Mishnah in a few different places explains this concept of shem tov, of a good name for himself, as a very high accolade. It's one of the biggest things, and it's very important that we understand that shem tov is not a negative, because this Mishnah is going to lean a little bit, or it's going to seem to lean a little bit. Shem tov is not a negative. Someone who acquires for himself a good name is a person who has worked very, very, very hard. What is one of the quickest ways to ruin a good name? Now, your imagination can run wild. There have been people, not mentioning names, there have been people the world over, try. I'm saying try. I know I said not mentioning names. You said I'm going to start listening. I get it. So I can say the name. Just try not to. There have been people the world over that were doing amazing things. And then a scandal will come out, something will come out about them, and they're done. Their Shem Tov is gone. What happened to their Shem Tov? Why don't people weigh that evenly?
Come on, kids.
What? Couldn't do it. I asked a favor. Couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't. You. Kana Shem Tov. He had a Shem Tov. These people have a Shem Tov. It's not one example. Believe me. Sit in a car with me and answer the phone for 2 days. It's not one person. Kana Shem Tov. These people have a Shem Tov. And then what happens? Scandal comes out, thing comes out, no one wants to talk, no one wants to see them, no one wants to anything. Burnt at the stake. Why do people balance it? They didn't balance it very simply. Because once we show you certain things, then everything that was based on, which was a Shem Tov, everything that was based on now gets called into question. Why did you have a Shem Tov? Could you have really been that, could you have really existed with that much dichotomy in your life where you were that giving to people yet that much of a monster? And the answer is yes, I guess possibly. But now we're going to question the motive of the giving. Now I say all the time, we tend to say, right, I have a guy sit in front of me and I'm saying this by way of saying that these two examples are completely not relatable. I'm not saying this to say that these are the same. I just want to be clear. I'm saying these two examples to say that they're completely different. You'll have a guy sit in front of me, you have a guy sit in front of anyone, and say, Rabbi, trust me, you don't know me. You don't know how bad. You don't know how, if you knew, believe me, you would never look at me in the eye again. If you had any idea how, why? Why? Because of that thing that you're not, that secret that you're not saying? Because of that little thing, that big thing that you're not saying? That's not what we're talking about here. So I say all the time, I'm like, no, you're wrong. Why is that the real you and the good parts are not the real you? Why is that? The good parts are the real you and that is what it is. It's not to say you don't work on it, you do. But you have to accept the fact that there's a great you also. That's not applicable over here. So when we have a person who is that dedicated to other people, and then they are that much of a monster on the other hand, why don't people say, well, there's a balance? Well, no, there's no balance. They're a monster. Why? Because all the good now is called into question. The motive behind it is also called into question. The motive of that is also called into question. If I walk up to a random kid on the street and punch him in the face, I am a weirdo. I am a horrible person. If that kid's my son, I'm a monster. Because now you could say, that guy's a very sweet person. He's even a father. Yeah, but if he's a father that beats his children, his title as father doesn't matter. It actually makes everything so much worse. His title as father makes it so much worse now. He becomes more of a monster. Because, I get it. You want to punch some kids in the head. I feel that. But when it's your own child, how can you do that? I feel like I'm justifying something I've done in my life. I don't know why these police are outside. I've never seen that kid in my life. Yeah.
Well, if you see a kid, if you see a guy punching his kid, you wouldn't automatically assume that he's a person.
You what?
It could be disciplining his kid, I don't know.
Punching and slapping is different.
Yeah.
Oh, if
I'm not talking about a smack on the tuchus, all right? I'm talking about this guy sitting there, dude, he falls down, like, picks him back up, and like, I'm talking about someone working a kid over. And by the way, no, okay, one punch is fine. A father punches his son in the face one time, no, I don't mean fine. I mean he doesn't have to do all that. One punch is enough to call him a monster. We should, rule of wrist, you know. What? You punch an inch over his head against the wall. That's the move, right? See, he knows you could, but you didn't. See, he knows you love him, but he should be afraid. No, all right. That is not chinuch advice. I just want to be clear here. So, fact of the matter, the reason is that a person, one of the great defeaters of a shem tov, of a good name, one of the great defeaters. Now, a good name, by the way, that the Mishnah is referring to here, is not saying that this guy's smart. This guy's an expert in his field. You ever met an expert in their field? Hopefully you don't have to ever meet like a medical expert in this field. If you ever meet a medical expert in their field, like the top guy, I've had to meet a few. Some of them are some of the most exceptional people. I want to say that. Some of them, right, Dr. Orenstein, right? Okay, I guess they go on either end over here. Either they're just the most amazing human being ever, or they're rude and they're exceptional people in their field. Is someone who's exceptional, someone who has a great name for being something of substance that they, they're a great doctor, they're a great lawyer, they're a great rabbi, I don't know, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily mean they have shem tov. Shem tov is a very specific character trait that a person works on to attain. He has a good name. He's in good standing with people. That person worked very hard to get there. Now, there are two reasons why people work really, really hard. There are two reasons that a person's work really, really, really hard. And these reasons are on either ends of a spectrum. They either work really, really hard because they know their value and they want to give, or they work really, really hard. And when I say someone who works really hard, I mean on themselves, on their name, on their standing. Or they work really, really hard so that people say that guy has a good name. It's for their own cover. They want to be a savior. They have a hero complex. They want to be the top. These people usually don't make it too far. They get very bitter, they get very angry, they get very jealous, they don't make it too far without messing up. These are also the people who a lot of bad things will happen around them. Because that's a drug. There's never enough people that like you that will matter. Ask any celebrity. Because once you get all that fame, once you get all that recognition, you start to realize, wait a second, none of these people actually know who I am. They say I'm amazing, but they don't know me. They know what I've done. They know what I did. They don't know me. They have no idea what they're talking about. And they start looking around at their life, at the people who do know them. Shem tov is based on people who are actually involved in your life. How do you react and connect to those people? The example I heard years ago was, I forgot who it was, but someone was giving maybe it was Rabbi Jacobson, I really don't remember, but someone was giving it was like a chinuch class, and he was saying, treat your children like you would treat a stranger. Now, when I'm working with a parent, a lot of times I'd say, treat your children like your nephews and nieces, right? If your nephew and niece was in trouble, got into bad things, whatever it is, and got sent to you to live with, you would be very open and loving and accepting and understanding, and This is not your kid. It's your nephew and niece. You still love the kid because it's nephew and niece, but you would give them a lot wider space to experience their lives. You would show a lot more patience. What was he saying? He was saying, you're sitting in shul, right? And it's so true. You're sitting in shul. You're sitting at a table. You put down a coffee, and the guy next to you knocks the coffee over. Right? Spills all over your sitter, all over the tablecloth. What do? Well, in reality, you don't know this guy. It's a random guy. What do you do? No, what do you do? Right. Right. Everyone jumps, no, I got it. I'll do it. No, that's fine. I didn't even really want a coffee. Everyone starts to, they're hugging and embracing at the end of it. They're like, oh, it's okay. No, I love you more. No, everyone. Now, this is me in shul. And then when my kid knocks over my coffee and it spills all over the tablecloth and all over my body, lick it off! Lick it off! Like, I lose my mind. I lose it. Why? I asked you to sit still for 5 seconds. Like, imagine doing that to even not a stranger, a friend of yours in shul. You just turn to him, you're like, can you not sit still? Is that what you'd be like, whoa? What? Can you not sit still? If one of you guys was sitting next to me and you knocked over my coffee and I turned to you and I said, can you not sit still? What is wrong with you would take me seriously? By the way, that is what I would do. That is for sure what I would do, but everyone would laugh because there's no way Psycho is being serious right now. There's no way that's real. But if someone turned to their kid, you don't even know these people. Someone turned to their kid and was like, can you not sit still? He'd be like, whoa, poor kid. Because he's being serious. Where's the difference over there? The difference is that we feel safe in our name over here. I gave this kid everything. I gave him a house to live in. I feel safe with my name over here. He's not going to go around talking about me. He's just as embarrassed of me as I am of him. He's not going to go around talking about me. But everyone else might go around talking about me. Kana shem toiv, a person who acquires a name, kana liatzmai. He acquired it for himself. And in the beautifully poetic term of the Mishnah, we see a double meaning here. Kana shem toiv, on the one hand, kana liatzmai. He just did that for himself. He got a good name because he wanted a good name. Because he wanted everyone to be like, ooh, look at that guy, yay. Which you realize, after 120 or at 120, when you're 120, on your 120th birthday, you're laying in that deathbed, you realize then, no one actually cared. No, not half as many people were talking about me as I had thought. Like, not at all. Not half as many people were sitting there like, hating me, like in their own private time. Talking bad about me, talking good about me. No one cared. Didn't matter. And then after 120, we come up to Hashem and we realize it was just us and him the entire time. He was the only one that was with us the whole way through. And he was the one that we ignored the most. Same relationship with the kid. We just flip it to Hashem. But bringing us back, kana liatzmai. He requires it for himself. Or, kana shem toiv, kana liatzmai. If a person has a shem toiv, has a real shem toiv, kana liatzmai. No one gave that to him. He did that for himself. He was kind of that for himself. No one can possibly have bought that for him. No one could possibly have given him that. There's no birthright to it. You can have a person who's a tzaddik and a bal chesed and loving and caring and all these things. And everyone loves him. And what everyone says about his kid, I don't know what happened to that kid. Just because it's his son doesn't really matter. No one loves the kid just because they love the father. You have to be you. You have to acquire that for yourself. It's not a birthright. Kana shem tov, if someone did acquire an actual, a real shem tov, kana liatzmai, they acquired that for themselves. But again, the key word in the Mishnah is kaineh. Kana shem tov, kana liatzmai. We cannot acquire, it's not given. It's not a matana. It's not something that anyone can give us. Kaineh, kinyan, it's something I have to be actively involved in. It's something I have to actively acquire for myself. And how do I get a shem tov? The only way to do that is by honestly reacting to the world. By really doing it. I want to make a difference in this world because that's what I want to be in this world. I want to be someone who made a difference. Not because I want people to talk about me. Not because I want any of that. Now, we all have that ego inside of us. And it's not gone overnight. But it's something that we work on. It's something we say, I'm going to let this go so that in any situation that it comes up that I realize I'm doing this for my ego. I'm doing this for ego. I'm not allowing myself to do it for me. Kana liatzmai or kana liatzmai? Which one are you? Are you kana liatzmai? Did you get it just for selfish reasons, just for your ego? Or kana liatzmai? Did you earn that? Did you earn that through your real sweat, toil, blood, and tears? Okay, oh yeah.